L36 IPF MFP versus the HP T830E MFP. We have spent many days comparing these two entry-level wide format MFP systems and want to share our experiences of some of the most important aspects usually likely to encounter. These tests concentrate on the additional scan and copy functionality of these MFP systems. We will look at configuration, installation, productivity and image quality. But before we start, a few trivial design observations of the HP T830 we can look at. The user interface is designed for left-handed users, which is probably only about 10% of the people. The HP logo does not line up with the centre of the device or the centre of the document feed-in tray. It's just lined up with the centre of the lid of the scanner, and this just looks a bit odd when you're loading documents. Not so trivial is the paper path of the T830 scanner. The T830 still uses a staggered array of 3 contact image sensors as opposed to the patented single sensor of the L36 IPF. It has a very tight document return path with gaps in the chassis just in here, which can catch the lead edge of inward curled documents, which can result in jams and damaged documents. This is a sort of inward curled document which will have a problem. The design does not provide the smoothest paper path, but provides opportunities for ripples and possible jams. The first obvious difference between these two systems is that the L series scanner is a separate device mounted on top of the printer with separate data cables, whereas the T830 has its scanner integrated in the lid of the printer with a common data cable. Fewer cables look neater, but we discovered this limits the T830 to be able to perform only one task at a time, either printing or scanning, but not both together. Conversely, the L36 IPF could print and scan at the same time, so 2 data cables may seem excessive, but it moves a productivity bottleneck. Thinking of how these systems will integrate into the Office network. Both systems can scan to a wired and a wireless network PC, but the L36 IPF is much easier to install and configure. The L36 IPF uses a wired network and a network broadcast to communicate with the PC. This makes installation incredibly simple. A network PC can be loaded with a software app that directs scan files to a shared folder. To set up this folder is really easy, and the user sets up the parameters on a per scan basis at the scanner. The T830 supports wireless as well as wired networks, but uses a much more complex method to set up a shared scan folder. The HP utility must communicate with the T830 during the setup. The user needs to know how to share a folder with both read and write permissions, and also to be able to define the full network path. They also have to enter the PC's username, password, and enter the scan settings for that folder. As an alternative, the T830 can be set with a direct Wi-Fi connection to allow peer-to-peer connectivity with tablets and phones, but it's not as convenient as it sounds. It means disconnecting these devices from the local network and any internet connection. So if you want to upload the scan file, you have to disconnect your portable device from the T830 and reconnect it to the network and internet, all before you can share the file. The idea of Wi-Fi seems an obvious choice when thinking of small format MFP devices, but it's not ideal for very large files from wide format scanners. To avoid extremely slow data transfer and to allow portable devices to view such images, the T830 requires very small files. To achieve this, it uses a very high lossy JPEG compression file format for every file format, including TIFF. The user does not have the option to archive the full scan data. JPEG was designed to compress colour photographs with smooth graduations, but not ideal for line drawings. The T830 has compromised image quality to accommodate Wi-Fi connectivity to portable devices. Spec sheets do not tell the whole story. For scan and copy modes, we should not just consider the speed of the scanner as described on the brochure, but the total time for the whole process. Scanning to PC in the fastest mode as shown on the brochure. Although the HP T830 scans the document faster in terms of inches per second, it requires additional processing time, and the user has to manually eject the document at the end of the process. The L36 IPF scans directly to the PC with no significant processing overhead and automatically ejects the document, so it's more productive. Copying in the more normal mid-quality mode. Again, we see the processing delay on the T830 not seen on the L36 IPF. Also, because the T830 scanner cannot run at the same time as the printer, the system waits for the user to eject the original before it can start the printer. So unless the user is very alert, copying times get even longer. Image quality. We've already made reference to the different imaging sensor arrangements of the two systems, the L36's single sensor and the T830's staggered array. But let's see what it actually means for the user. The difference is very significant. A single sensor captures the full width of document at the same time. A staggered array must capture aligned parts of the image at different times, and if there are any issues with document feed-in, then a data shift will be seen. This is quite common at the lead or trail edge of a document. The T830 has tried to overcome any data shift issues by blurring the data between adjacent sensors. Unfortunately, this means even minute shifts in some patterns will show blurring at the boundaries of the sensors. Another issue with staggered sensor arrays is the limited single-sided illumination compared to the very bright double-sided illumination of a single sensor. Poor single-sided illumination in a scanner results in visible shadows at folds or creases in an original document. Probably the most concerning image quality issue we found on the T830 was the poor reproduction of coloured lines. When we think the majority of users will want to scan or copy documents containing lines, it is worrying that the T830 has turned some of the horizontal blue lines black, but not the vertical lines. This can mean the drawing has a whole new meaning. We tried many different settings and found the only way to eliminate this issue was to scan or copy in the very slow best mode. But this took a very long time and still shows some of the other defects. We occasionally saw some strange results, which led us to believe the HP was launched a little early. The problem could easily be overcome by a power cycle, because the scanner recalibrates itself every time it's turned on. But this makes us question how many users will clean their scanner between power cycles to ensure a good calibration. If the scanner is dirty, then this dirt will be normalised into the scanner data and may have an impact on image quality. We think the HP was launched very early as there's still quite a few bugs and unexpected items, but let's look beyond that. The L36 IPF is a true multifunctional device, whereas the HP T830 can only do one function at a time. Installation. The L36 IPF has less installation configurations, but is very easy to install or reconfigure. The T830 is more complicated for scan to PC and may require a network administrator. Direct use with phones and tablets is unique to HP, but image quality has been sacrificed in order to maintain the tiny file sizes, and it's difficult to work with large format documents on a pocket-sized device. Productivity. This is similar for both. L36 IPF is faster in some modes, T830 in others, except the T830 saves much faster to the USB stick due to its highly compressed file formats. Scan and copy image quality. The L series single sensor is superior to the staggered array of the T830 for all the usual reasons. Lead and trail edge stitch issues, visible scan bar intersections, visible shadows and creases. Both devices have good colour reproduction, but the HP T830 has an issue with some CAD drawings, where excessive sharpening or compression loses colour. HP have compromised image quality for small file size in order to enable portable devices.